this is what we're going to be doing today. So I can't decide if I want to do the hot air balloon today, but I wanted to show you. First of all, we're going to create that background. So what I've done is I've actually put one coat down already, okay, and this is Once in a Blue Moon from Orly, but you want to have like a cloudy blue, because if you're flying a kite, you're not going to fly a kite in a windless sky, and generally we need clouds in the sky, so we do want to have clouds in the sky. So we're going to do the second coat, and then what you want to do is you want to add some white gel polish to this. So I'm going to just grab some of this white gel polish, stick it on a palette like this. And then I've got a different brush. So this brush is the same orange brush, but this is my gel one. And we're just going to apply clouds to that wet gel polish surface. Now I need you to be as rough as anything. We don't want this to blend in. So I know that normally I'm saying to you, guys, make sure there's no lines. I want lines this time because we're creating clouds. We're just going to really roughly just place that into the clouds. Now this is actually all going to self-level, so it's all going to actually merge together. If you were trying to do this on a sort of an inhibition layer, a dry top coat, it's actually not going to work so well for you. So you can see those clouds there. I'm just going to pop that straight underneath the lamp. Okay, look at that. So you can see here, I've actually got the shape of a kite on here. And you're going to need to do 2 coats of this. Now I do this with gel polish. You could do this with gel paint if you wish. You could do this with regular paint as well. Regular paint I thought would dry too quickly. It would take too long to dry. And also with regular paint, it doesn't level off. I want to have a completely smooth surface on this kite, and I didn't want lines or anything happening. So let me just see if I can focus that a bit more. There we go, you can see it a bit better. Sorry about that, guys. So we're just gonna create, and we're just gonna put some little bows on here. Now the reason why I'm putting white down first is because I want the colors to pop on that gray background. Now if you'd have just done say you just did a white background, you probably wouldn't need to do this, but because we've used blue, if I was to add like red to the blue, it sort of looks muddy, and what we want to do is we want to get that really bright color on that background. So we're just going to put that underneath, and you can see here that this is the one that I just did for you. Now what I am going to do with this one is we're going to go with a Matte and Go. This is Matte and Go from Mystic Nails. I have to say the best matte gel polish I've ever tried, mainly because it is transparent, and having it transparent means that you can still see the detail. You can see, if you look at your back top coat, you might see that it's a little bit cloudy. So it's really, really great. And actually, because it's Matte and Go, I don't have to use a wipe to take off any inhibition layer. We'll just leave that under there. Right, so this has got an inhibition layer because this is just a regular gel polish. Just get rid of that and then put that there. So what I'm going to do, there's 2 things you can do. You can go over with the Matte and Go if you want to, or what we're going to do is we're going to just remove that inhibition layer. We don't need it. It is just to serve a purpose, to create that white background, so then I can paint over the top of that. Okay, all right. So we're going to start painting. I'm not going to do a black outline. This is so important. Too many times when we do an outline, we're actually creating just such a hard outline that it doesn't look that great. So I'm just going to come in with some black. Get rid of that. And then some white. And we're going to use a series of greys. Now I just want to show you this. This is what you need to do when you're mixing. See how I've put these two colours together? I'm actually going to pull one colour into the other to create my grey. What I see a lot of nail technicians do is they put one colour on top of the other. That way you don't have any control, but you can see the more black I add, the deeper the grey, and the more white I add, the lighter the grey. Yeah, so I've actually got different versions of the grey. A little bit of water. I'm just going to go in with a mid grey, and then we can always go darker. And we're just going to do the outline first. Now, if you've seen a previous nail art at noon, you will see that I've talked about holding your brush and just painting with the tip of your brush rather than painting with the barrel of your brush. If you start learning to paint with the tip of your brush, you actually can achieve nice, fine lines. Now we're going to work with a series of greys, and the reason why we're going to work with a series of greys is because we want to create a shadow line. So let's go down the center here so we can create an almost 3D effect. So I'm going to come in slightly darker because we're going to highlight this line. And then we're going to just go a little bit light on this one. I'm going to go across here like that. Okay, so we're going to create a lighter version down here. So this is going to be the highlight. So if we imagine that the light's coming from this way and we want shadow going here, we're just going to come in with a lighter line down here. Now you could go light first and create a dark line. The problem with that is coming in with a darker black line is always a lot harder. Just add some water to my grey. Isn't the weather great, guys? Like I'm literally looking out to the sunshine. I'm going to have lunch in the garden today, I think. There we go. I'm just going to come in with that little bit darker on this side. So this is our shadow. And then we're going to come a little bit darker on this side. So this is our shadow on the underside here. Whoops, it's not dark enough. And underside here. Because the light's coming from this way, remember? Okay. And what I'm going to do is just create, oops. Just a darker line here and here. I'm just going to do a little stick. And a little one at the top there. Okay, so I just need to create a highlight. And I know you're thinking to yourself, oh my gosh, Sam, just draw it already. But this is actually really important. And the reason why it's so important is because it just creates that optical illusion. And then when people look at it, they might not necessarily notice, but it does create that feeling that it's almost 3D. So I just need to do a darker line on this. Whoops. Just under here. Oop. Damn it. Okay, so that was not planned. That's okay though. We're okay with that because I'm going to come in with some white. I'm going to go over that then because we're going to actually use that to colour in. What we'll do come in with the white, and then what we'll do is we'll do a second layer because we're going to do a blend on each of these sections. We're going to do a blend. Okay, all right, I think we're okay. We're okay, we've rescued it. We're fine. Don't panic, Sam. This one is a little dodgy. There we go. All right, I think we're good. Right, so now I just want to grab some colours. So we've got blue. Okay, and then what I did think, if I had time, I've got the wrong purple. I've got green. I've got to go and get yellow and dark pink, which is a disaster because they're not at my desk here. How did I forget those? We're going to come in with some green. Okay, let's put that green in this top corner. We're going to come in with the dark green. And this is going to keep those lines nice and straight. And then just come in with a little bit of the white. Oops. That should blend out nicely. There we go. So we want to see how I'm using tiny, tiny little strokes to try and blend this out. What you don't want to do, you want a little bit of patience, but it is just a case of, and then maybe come in and let it dry before you go in with the next one. Let's do the same with the blue. And can you see I'm always putting the blue on the palette before I go straight onto the, I never go straight onto the nail tip. I'm just going to blend this out. A little bit of the white. And we're going to come in again with the second coat. What I'd like to try and do is do some patterns on these fades. I thought maybe dots and stripes and all sorts of wonderful things. So stick with me because that is going to happen. I'm determined. Nice. Great. Okay, so let's go with orange. I already have orange mixed up in a pot. So we're going to have some orange, and then I've got to nip and get some yellow. No. What should we get? Some pink, I think. What do you reckon? Orange will go here. So it's quite important, this line. And here as well. See how I'm making the line first? And then it's okay. Then it's okay what you do. But there's a reason why we're doing that fade. If we did a solid colour, then what happens is that we don't create that sort of illusion that the light's shining through the kite and that it's too thick. And we don't want that. So we want to be a little bit clever, don't we? Yes, we do. So guys, what I need to know from you is what you want me to do. Now, there's lots and lots of different options, and I've got a ton of ideas already, but it's pointless me doing something that you don't want to see. If there's anything that you want me to do, let me know. It's a 20-minute-ish little moment where you and I can sit and do some nail art together, and we're just going to get lost in it sometimes. And I'll let you into a little secret. I actually am doing this, and then I have to remind myself that you guys are watching. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but I absolutely get lost in all or any nail art. Okay, we're going to get some pink. I got some purple, but we needed pink. So there we go. That was definitely not planned. Pop that down. That's nice. So the other thing I also wanted to talk to you about was how we go through things when we're doing our artwork, and we have this process that we go through, and at all times when you're doing it, you have the doubt, the self-doubt that kicks in, and you're like, seriously, what am I doing? Am I kidding myself? This is ridiculous. This is awful. I'm useless at this. And I want to, and I say this in all of my classes, keep going, because it's only when you start putting top coat over the top of your artwork when things sort of come together. And it's that magic moment where you're going, okay, that's okay. This is maybe not as you had envisioned, but it's okay. It looks good. I like it. And it's only at that time when you actually are able to judge your work. Now, can you see this shadow line here? We are going to redefine it now, but we're going to redefine it with color. So we're going to get some of the orange and we're going to get a little bit of the black. I'm going to do the same thing next to each other. So what I don't want to do is I don't want to come in with a black line, but I want to just create the shadow underneath here and here, and then we're going to blend it out in the same way that we blended the orange into the white. So I'm going to use some more of the orange. We're just going to tap it, oops, with a little bit of water, because we want to create that shadow. Now I don't normally do this kind of nail art, and I did think to myself, oh, do you know what? We could do this, and we could do a hot air balloon and something else that flies in the sky. I don't know. I'm always drawn. You see how that's created that shadow? I'm always drawn to technique rather than design, but I don't know, what do you guys want? What do you want to see? Because I'm up for playing and coming up with something. Here we go, all the way down here. And all of these lessons will be available on our YouTube channel, but also it will be available on Facebook forever and eternity. So you can come back and watch them at any time. These nice little free lessons. And don't forget, you've got the lavender lesson as well, which you get. That's part of the New to Nail Art course. Now the New to Nail Art course, I called it the New to Nail Art course. You could call it a beginner's course, but actually it's not just for beginners, It's for anybody that's looking to just take their nail art to it's not to the next level so much, but when you're doing nail art and you're like, what, I just need some fundamentals, or I just need some ideas. And it's like 10 modules, and in each of those modules you have a focus. So if one of the modules is on marbling, for example, we actually talk or show lots of different types of marbling. So you've got marbling with gel polish, and then you've got marbling with pigments, and marbling with acrylic paints, or you've got marbling. We actually do marble with cling film. So there's lots and lots of different ways to create a marbled effect. And the same with ombre. We do ombre with pigments, with gel polish, with paint. So we talk about ombres, we talk about color theory. There's loads and loads of different aspects to nail art. And so what this is, it's like your ultimate guide to all things nail art. And I always believe that once you have a good foundation, you can build on that foundation. So anytime anybody walks into the salon and goes, hey, Sarah, I want this, or Mary, I want that, you're like, yeah, no problem. I can do that because I know the foundation. And then you can actually start developing your own style, and you start becoming more confident. So that's why the New to Nail Art course is there. It is there to help you build on what you have already. Or if you're brand new, it's to give you all of that information in one place. And you guys, if you do the lavender class, you can actually have a look. And if you like it, you will get a special offer in your inbox. So watch out for that. Like it's an exclusive limited time offer that's happening right now. Okay, I think we're done. Now, can you see the difference? How it looks almost 3D. So we've got this center line that's come out. I'm going to just come in with a little white line, like a highlight line all the way along here. Yeah, it's good, huh? Right, okay, so we need to do a tail. And I did not, let me do a pink tail, I think. Let's do a pink tail, not a yellow tail. Do pink, a little bit of white. Do a pale pink tail. So we're just going to come down. Now I've already put the white on. I'm just going to come and just going to create a little bit of shadow. There we go. We'll wait for that to dry. I'm just going to add a little bit more of that along the edge. See how I'm holding my brush? Literally it's just the tip of my brush. And the paint is wet, guys. It's not dry, it's wet. Now, the next thing I want to do is actually add additional detail to the kite, because this in itself is fine, but it's still not quite. So what we want to do is we want to add the detail, and it's in the detail that your artwork starts to change. So we want to make sure that the kite is built well. So we're going to add these little tabs on the side. This just tells everybody that those posts in the middle are there for a reason. Okay, and we're going to just do one at the bottom. Okay, I'm going to come in again with another coat of that. Before we do that, we're just going to add a string in the middle. That's going to run like a little S. On either side. That's just holding the sticks together. You see? Okay. There we go. So what we are going to do is we're going to come in with a little bit of a grey line to add shadow, because I'm not going to have done the shadow, all that shadow for no reason, just to have white blobs on the kite. And just again in here as well. Okay, and I think my pink ribbon is pretty much dry, so let's come in with some bows. So we've got the bow at the bottom here. And let's have a blue bow, shall we? Where's the other bow? That one's here. And a green one. It's up here. Look. So I've already put those bows in with the gel polish. All right, so we'll go back in and we'll add detail to that now. So we're going to come in with the black, and we're just revitalizing that grey next to each other, remember, and we're just going to come in and mix. Maybe a little bit more black. Get rid of the excess on your brush, come in and make sure your brush is loaded. It's pointless just having it on the tip of your brush. We just want to just take off any excess water, so we're just left with the pigment on our brush. And we're just going to come and we're just going to create a dark line here. You see the difference? I'm just going to tidy up these lines. And then another dark line here. There we go. Look at that. And then this side as well. See, it's just like a little, literally it's like, it's not straight. It's like a smile. Okay, and then this final one at the bottom. And you're only going to be able to do that when you're using the tip of your brush. We're just going to come in, we're going to sort that bow out as well. It's a bit too dark for me. I don't want black outlines so much as I just want it to pop, that's all. Okay, and we're just going to come in here. I think if I had a little bit more time, I'd do the dark green, you know, with what we were doing before with the dark green on either side. Very aware that we're now at 30 minutes. Oh shit, I hate that. That's horrible. Okay, let's go. I'm sorry, I'm changing it. So go with your instinct. Okay, let's just go in with a bit of the darker green now. Can't have outlines. I'm so against outlines right now because there's no need for it unless you're doing a cartoon. Do not create outlines. I'm just going to soften this with the darker green. There we go. That's a bit better. So I'm going to come in with some white in a minute, I think. And that orange, if I'm going to do it with the green, I might as well just do it with the orange. Commit yourself, Sam. So let's go in with a little bit. There we go. Okay, dokie. That's better. Okay, so the final thing is the lashing in the middle. I'm just going to come in with a little bit of that black. Now, be very careful, and if you don't feel confident about doing this, don't, because you'll trash it. You're just going to come in underneath here, and you've got to decide which one is at the front and which one is at the back. So this one is the front one. Okay, so this one is the back one. So I'm going to come just underneath, because it's under that creates the shadow, right? This is going to be the shadow line on the stick, not on the lashings, and then that's going to come here. Okay, can you see? So it's the under and over. Don't do it on the top. What we will do on the top to just enhance it is we will grab some of the purpley pinky with the dark black. So what we're doing is we're not doing a black line, because as soon as I put that black line on there, what I'll do is I'll just enhance the white, and I don't want to do that. I want to create an illusion that it is, if I, it will be, what am I trying to say? It will flatten it out. So as soon as I place a black line over the top of that white, it will actually flatten it out. But as soon as I do a dark line with the colour in the background, it creates more of a shadow. I know what I mean. There we go. So I might need to go back in with the white, because I know it was the grey, wasn't it? Right, this is where you fiddle, and this is where you mustn't. Because as soon as you apply top coat, these tiny little things get hidden. Now, I am an artist and I paint. And when you're painting on a larger canvas, you do get to see that all of these little bits, but we are painting on nails, ladies. We are, like, I cannot tell you how difficult it is for an artist to probably do this. You guys have skills. to actually do this kind of art on a tiny, tiny little canvas. And I don't think we give ourselves enough credit. I really, really don't, because this is pretty awesome to be able to do this rather than doing it on a big piece of paper. You know, coming with some lighter. So I want you guys to really, really appreciate that these are tiny, tiny canvases. And you are freaking awesome to be able to do this. You really, really are. Not artists, not many artists would actually even attempt to do things on this tiny, tiny scale. And we just do not give ourselves credit for that. And we should. I'm going to stop now, you know, because I want to put this top coat on, because I want you to see the difference. Oh no, I was going to do, oh yeah, right, okay, so I'm going to put the top coat on because I want you to see the difference.